As part of the Paper Stash Smash collab, I have chosen to smash this vintage Valentine 6x6 paper pad. So I've made a couple of larger albums and now I wanted to smash some of the smaller scraps. So let me show you this. I've made these accordion albums. Now these ones are 4x4. This is 3.5 by 3.5. This one I didn't show you the tutorial, but the tutorial is the same for these two. I'll show you this in a little bit, but let me show you what I have. So as I said, it's 4.5 by 4.5. I do have a magnet holding it together. I also used some digitals from Bumfuzzle Boutique on Etsy. They're digital printables. Some I use my Cricut, but I think by the time I got around to making this, I show you I'm just hand cutting everything just to get them in the album. So it's just very simple. There's a magnet here holding it. Oh, I need to put paper on the back. I'll do that. I mean, that's okay, but I was going to put pattern paper. So it opens this way. And the other ones I've put pockets in, but I kept this first one really simple. And it just simply will open. These are using just 3x3 pieces. Again, it was a 6x6 pad. So I made it so I could get 4 pieces from each piece of paper. And it'll open like this, so you can put little pictures there. Of course, it is like that and like that. Now, I didn't decorate the pages. Truthfully, I'm thinking that I'm going to give these to my daughters and put baby pictures of them in here. So I knew I didn't want too much stuff on the pages. So that's that one. This is one of the printables, as are all the other, all that from the paper. Again, was from the paper pad, which I picked up from Hobby Lobby, but the printables just added to it, really gave it a nice touch. So here's a printable on the cover. This will be a little tuck spot, so you could tuck a photo in there if you wanted to. That's another printable, and here's a tuck spot on the bottom. So then, I mean, it's basically the same. I used the 3x3 or the 6x6 paper and cut it into 3x3. I put a little pocket here. This is just using some of the strips of paper, trying to use all those little bits and pieces. And then I put one of the printables on the back. So these are the 4x4 ones, which those are cute. But this one, again, I just was experimenting with something. This one has three covers that are 4x4. This one just has 2 covers. I was starting to run out of paper, so I decided just to make it a little smaller. And then I have this belly band. I just layered several of the printables in the circle format on here, glued it onto some cardstock. I used a punch and punched this just again to add a little bit of detail to it. That is a printable. So this one is sort of not Valentine's. You'll see what I mean. So we have Cupid's Bakery on the front, Cupid's Chocolate Shop there. So again, the same paper, but you notice it doesn't have any hearts. It does have some roses, but it could be different. Sweets for my sweet. I made a little pocket here. I made a side loading pocket there. I guess it does say Valentine. And that again was one of the cut aparts from Bumfuzzle Boutique that I just put in the pocket there. But these fit. So this is 3.5 by 3.5. It's a 1/2-inch spine. The pages are 3 3/8 by 3 3/8. And it just gets consecutively smaller until we have the 3x3 pattern paper there. So sort of thought it was cute, and like I said, wanted to do something a little different and just added a belly band to that. But let me start and show you how to make these. So I'm going to do a voiceover as I talk this through. I've cut 3 pieces of chipboard 4x4 and 2 pieces that are a 1/2 inch by 4. I am putting double-sided permanent adhesive on the back of them just to make it easier to cut. Now I have some scraps. I'm going to join them together. It's a cream color cardstock that's 8.5 inches. I'm going to choose one of the center pieces. It's a little bit not as tall as I want it to, and usually if you've watched me make mini albums, I put double-sided adhesive in between the spine pieces. I'm trying not to do it this time just to see what will happen. And like I say, there's not as much room between the edge of the chipboard to the end of the cardstock, so I'm using some ATG just to help hold it while the glue dries. I know it's not going to go anywhere once everything's adhered, but again, I just want it to sit easy and we'll just let it dry. And I know the paper is a little crooked, but it doesn't matter because we're going to cover it all up. I wasn't as careful with this as I am sometimes if I know that the paper's going to be seen. All right, and then I work the paper into the crevice. Oh, I put some glue underneath it because it looked like it was not attached. So that's what you saw me do. All right, now I'm making the accordion pages, and you saw the measurements, 8.5 by 3 3/8. And I'm going to score that on the scoreboard at 3 3/8. And then I try to figure out what the second measurement would be. So 3 3/8 and 6 3/4 is where I'm going to score. So all three of these pieces, 3 3/8, 6 3/4. I'm going to cut two of them, just about 1/2 inch in mite of the corners, and glue one edge onto the other. Here I want to have about an 1/8 inch. So I'll score the second one, I guess it's 1/4 inch. Score the second one, add a second score at the end there at 7. Hopefully you followed all that. Anyhow, I'm going to glue all three of these together with the one with the bigger piece down at the end. Go ahead and fold it and burnish on the fold. And there is our little accordion pieces. I got the brilliant idea to freeze frame so we can all look at this. To cover the inside, you will need 2 pieces. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I freeze frame this, but I totally messed this up. This is the wrong measurement. I don't know why I said 6.5. It's not going to fit. I would go, I don't know, 7.5, maybe even 8. It's okay if you overlap it, but I put one 6.5 inch piece at the side, and then I put the other one at the other side, and then you'll see. Add glue. I like to put glue on the surface and then around the perimeter. I put it down and I'm like, what? What did I do? But you know what? No harm, no foul. I have another scrap of paper. I'm just going to put it in the center and cover it. We're still going to add some cardstock and decorative paper, so it's all going to be fixed eventually. I'll go ahead and burnish a little bit more, work the crevices where the spines are, just so it folds easy. There's usually one side that's bigger than the other. I'm writing magnet here so I don't forget once I put on the paper, but I could have made the spine one a little bigger than the other. All right, from my bag of tricks, I grabbed this. So you'll need 5 pieces of cardstock that is 3 7/8 by 3 7/8. So put them all down. The 2 sides, I'm putting the magnet down, 2 sides on the inside and all 3 panels on the back. Don't do the centerpiece on the inside yet. So I'm just turning it upside down and putting these 3 pieces in this darker red. Couldn't find the one piece, or I had to cut it. I don't know. But anyhow. Oh, I cut it wrong. Had to recut it. I put a dot of glue where that one magnet is and then added some double-sided adhesive just so I knew exactly where the magnet needed to go. All right, so the next pieces you'll need. All right, you'll need 4 of cardstock, 1/2 by 3 7/8, and 3/8 by 3 3/4 for the pattern paper. So that's just to cover up the 2 spines in the inside and 2 spines on the outside. Obviously, I'm just using scraps here. I'm just taking whatever pieces I have and cutting them and putting them on. Since all of the pattern paper coordinates, I'm really not that concerned with exactly what goes where. All right, now I'm going to work on the inside. So at first I decided to take this 1/2 inch piece and put it there, and then I decided, you know what, I want a little bit thicker, so I pulled it off and I changed my little cheat sheet. So hold on. Okay, so you'll need 3 5/8 by 3 7/8, and then not 3/8 by 3 7/8, more like 3/4. You'll see that little piece? I changed that with a bigger piece that's 3/4. So anyhow, put the one on the left-hand side down first. I'm sorry, the right-hand side down first. Then put the flap of the accordion down, burnish it real well, and then put the other piece of the cardstock. That way, it looks a little more seamless. It seems to fit a little better. And then we'll grab our cardstock and put on all of the little squares. And obviously the 12 pieces of cardstock are 3 3/16 by 3 3/16. I was using a bunch of paper that I've had in my scrap bin. I don't keep that much in scraps, but I just took any pink or red ones and just cut them out, and I was able to use a lot of my scrap paper. In the next video that I make after this, maybe it's not going to play next, but I am using all of the scraps of my cardstock and my pattern paper and making a bunch of cards. So stay tuned for that. Just sort of free range card making. I'm just cutting these little pieces. I couldn't tell you the measurement. That looks like it's about 1/4 inch by 3 3/8. This looks like it's 3/8 maybe, just to cover that the white paper. All right, now we need some pattern paper. The whole reason I'm making it this size is so I can use my 6 by 6 paper and cut each piece into 4 pieces and get 3 by 3 pattern paper. So you'll need 12 pieces of 3 by 3 pattern paper. You could mix and match, like if you have one piece that's 2 by 3 and one piece that's 1 by 3, you could add them onto the pages. Or you don't even need the cardstock base if you don't want. I just, again, was happy that I could use some things that were in my scrap bin. So I'm just sort of figuring out what's going to go where and just gluing them down. So that'll get the accordion done. After this, we're going to decorate the cover. All right, for the most part, I'm taking paper from the pad. So you'll need 5 pieces, 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, but then I'll take one piece that's 3 3/4 by 2 1/2, and one piece that's 3 3/4 by 1 1/2. So I'm just placing it down, most of the pattern paper, adding some glue around the magnet. It already has adhesive on it. I'll link in the description box where I get my magnets because they're fabulous. So, and then I have this little border strip that I cut down to 3 3/4, and that's going to be the front cover. Once you put an embellishment on the front, it looks fabulous. So again, I'm piecing some pieces here. I'm running out of paper, so I'm going through my scraps. I had a lot of these thin little strips. I guess from my mini album that I made, the first one. So I'm just putting them on a piece of copy paper. Trying to decide if I need one more piece. Nah, I don't think I do. It's copy paper that I've already had something written on, but I'm just going to cut it down so it can fit on the inside. I'm really eyeballing it. Just a little bit more off. Okay, there we go. One more. And gluing it down. And I am going to put a pocket here so you don't see it. I add one more piece to that side, and you can't tell it's all pieced together. All right, here's where I'm going to put a pocket. I just cut it, I think 3 3/4, and just glue it on the side and the bottom. and put a little embellishment, trying to go through my stash. These are what I printed out from Bun Fuzzle Boutique. I end up using just ones I printed out from the ephemera. So here I am just cutting it. I could have put it in my Cricut, but most of these are like square and rectangle. Oh, I wanted to show you this. I just wanted to show you the difference in when you use different paper. The one in my hand I printed on koala paper. The other one was just regular copy paper. Go back and just stop the video and take a look at it. There is a difference. I usually use the koala paper, but these Bum Fuzzles Boutiques digitals are such good quality. I don't think it makes that much of a difference. I mean, again, this is regular copy paper that I printed this on. I don't think you can even tell. So anyhow, I'm just, cutting the straight edges, and then I'll take my corner rounder. These little ones I did have to fussy cut a little bit, but most of them I'm just cutting the straight edges, and then I'll grab the corner rounder and round the corners, and those are done. So even though I did print it out from the Cricut app, it's just because I sized some differently as opposed to printing a whole sheet. There's a video on my channel on how I do that. If it's something that interests you, go ahead and check it out. Otherwise, there's nothing wrong with just taking the Bum Fuzzle, taking one 8.5 by 11 sheet and printing it out just the sizes that there are. Or you can resize the whole paper. I'm sure if your printer will do that. So I'm going to make a little corner pocket here, adding one for the center, adding one to the top on the other side. Just going through my little stash of Bum Fuzzle Boutique images to make a fun little mini of them. Not like totally in your face Valentines, but Valentines. Because then you can put some cute little I love you pictures in there, or love notes, or whatever you want to do. Add something there. I don't put anything in the pocket. I do realize I need something here on the back cover. I have that one little strip of paper, the border strip, you see it's down on the bottom, and I want to use it, but I don't have enough, so I just cut it in half and then hide it with the digital. I'm trying to decide if I want to layer, if I want to put something. I just take the round one and put it on the back. I don't put anything in all of the pockets, but that is it. And that is how I made my accordion albums using this vintage Valentine 6x6 paper pad from Hobby Lobby. These designs again were from Bum Fuzzle Boutique, as were these cute little gnomes. Check it out. I will list it in the description box. Thank you so much for watching, and have a fabulous